Hi guys, and welcome back to Reed's Readers with your host Clinton Reed, Britain. And today, I'm bringing you my October wrap-up. I will state I don't have the bingo board with me, but go check out the live show for the Throws and Chills book club, and you'll know how I did with the Stay Spooky-a-thon. So we're going to get into my stats, and then we'll go over the books. There are several that I read on ebook that I don't own physical copies of, and a couple of those I'm like, I know vaguely what I could tell you, but they're really short, so I won't give you a lot. I'll just be like, this is what I read. I'm going to do those before we get into I'm going to do my DNS, then I'm going to do those, then my rereads, then we'll go over the ones that I have physically. If that makes sense. For my October wrap-up, I read 19 books. I kind of get sucked into some Gilmore Girls. Some things got DNF'd to just put back on the shelf. I had 2 DNFs. I had 1 2-star, 1 3.5 star, 7 4 stars, 1 4.5 star, and 1 9-star, which led for 3,829 pages. I read 9 ebook wise, whether I had a physical or not. I have found now that I'm a Kindle girly, and it helps my wrists. And I did read 10 of these books via audio. I think there may have been like a crossover with a couple of those as well. But 9 of these books are Mel romances, or had Mel romances somewhere in it. 12 were new to me authors. 4 were authors I've read before. 6 of them start a series. 1 continued a series, and 2 finished a series. And I read 3 rereads. So overall, not a bad reading month. Let's go into the DNFs first. The first one I want to talk about is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I tried the audiobook, I tried the physically reading, and I tried doing it both together. The writing is just not for me. This is my second Juno Dawson I've tried. I can't remember the other one that I tried on like on Scribd ones. And I can't jive with her writing, so this is getting unhauled. And I am unhauling Unburied, a collection of queer dark fiction. I read the first one and I gave it 3 stars, I do believe. Then I DNF'd the next 3. Gave the next one a 2 and the one after that a 1. And realized I don't like how this is written. Like, every one of them is by a different author, yes. But I feel like a lot of them were written in the same style of writing, and it's just not jiving with me, so I am sadly unhauling this. Okay, before I get into my rereads, the ones that were ebooks that I don't own physical copies of is I did read the entirety of a series. Don't know what that series is called, but I read Apple Pie by Wes Green and gave it a 3.5. I read Pumpkin Pie by Wes Green and gave that one a 4. And I really, really loved Pecan Pie, which I gave a 5. And you'll see another Wes Green towards the end of this. Really enjoyed those. Each of those were a small town romance. A guy comes back to the town and they fall in love, get married, and move into the military. That's all I can really tell you about them without you having to read them. I will say Pecan Pie is my favorite because it is the sweetest, and it involves a grandmother as well, and it's just something about that story just warmed my heart. Next is I have the worst book of the month, which is Riding the Headless Horseman by Molly Likovich. I gave that one a 2-star. I kind of like the girls' version, but when you got to the guy, I hated it. Like, I hated it. And it's literally about a girl who rode the Headless Horseman sexually. Yeah, no. The next one I don't own physically is Jacked by the Jack-O-Lantern by T.S. Boyney. I will be purchasing a copy of this. I gave that one 4 out of 5 stars. This is about a man who meets a guy early on in the day, hits off, and later on meets him, runs into him in a maze, and finds out that he has the head of a jack-o'-lantern, and he is the god of harvest, and he has to fuck him, and the amount of seed he plants into him, the amount of abundance the year can have. How do I say this PG-13 here? The next one that I do not own is The Pram by Joe Hill. This was a 58-page short story that I borrowed on KU and on Audible because they were doing this like special that if you borrowed on KU, you got all of them. I was going to do the full set, but this one really creeped me out. I gave it 4 stars. It was a little too short, but I did have a couple of nightmares about babies and strollers and popping out and raccoons and eating me and And the last one that I don't own physically yet. Oh, hold on. I have another one. I skipped over Halloween Werewolf by Kestra Pingree. I gave that one 4 stars. I will be definitely continuing this series because I will be reading Christmas Polar Bear in December. Really enjoyed this. 2 guys used to date, then one found out that the other one was werewolf and the other one ran away, came back on Halloween and rekindled their love. And then the last one I don't own physically is No Place to Hide by Harper Ashley and Rin Hawthorne. I did order from, I think it's from Obsidian Books, the special Black Pages edition of this. So I will own a copy of this to reread every year on Halloween along with Scream for Us. This is an erotic novel taking place in a carnival where a girl meets a carny and decides to play a game with him and have a wild night of fun. It is hot. As a gay man, it takes a lot for me to find a straight relationship hot. Megan Brandy tends to do it for me. So does Molly Doyle. Few others. It's very rare that I'm into a... Well, with Megan Brandy, I don't think I'm, like, into the sex scenes. I'm really into the stories and the characters. But, like, this book, the way he went down on her, with her tied up, makes me blush just thinking. But that's all I've got on the ones I don't own physically. Now let us discuss my 3 rereads. I reread Ghost by Joel Abernathy because I would like to continue in this series. And this did, again, get the same rating, right? A 4-star. Loved it. This follows... I've read so much. Enzo and Echo. Enzo accidentally kills someone, and Echo is hired to make it all disappear. Problem is, mafia families, it's not that simple. And then those 2 fall in love. Love this. Cannot wait to continue on with this series. So, yeah. Scream for Us by Molly Doyle. 3 men in masks. Scream mask. Jason mask. And a Michael Myers mask. Oh. Save a girl. And they fuck all night. This is hot. Don't listen to the audiobook. Listen to the audiobook for the guy. Don't listen for the girl. Because I can tell she fake it. But I reread this. We'll be rereading this. Read it last year. We'll read it this year. I'm going to read it next year for Halloween. Listen, this is one of my favorite novellas of all time. I am currently in the middle of Bloodshed and loving it. Love Ghost Daddy to pieces. And my last reread of the month was I reread Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesar for the Thrills and Chills Book Club. I will link the live show down below that took place on Dana's channel. Y'all should go check out and hear our thoughts on it. Slasher novel with clowns is all I'm going to say here. I really want to read book 2 and continue on, even though I've heard book 2 isn't as good. So those are my reads. And now let's get into these new ones. So my 2 4-stars were both, one was a thriller and one was a horror. So let's talk about these 2. Oh my god, my foot fell asleep already. My first 4-star was The Other People by C.J. Tudor. Gave it 4 stars because I felt like it was a little slow with the plot. But other than that, this is a really good thriller. This is about a guy who is on his way home from work, and in the car in front of him, he notices his daughter is back there screaming. So he follows until he loses track of them, so he stops at a payphone to make a call, finds out that his wife is dead, and has now spent the last 3 years searching for his daughter. That is all I'm going to say. Just know I really enjoyed this. I am going to give C.J. Tudor another try because I really enjoyed the writing. I just felt like it was a little slow in parts that I felt like they could have sped up. Next is The Haunting of Ashburn House by Darcy Coates. Really, really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars for the same reason I gave the C.J. Tudor. It was super slow in parts, and this one took me 2 days to read. But it's about a girl who inherits a haunted house. And that's literally all I'm going to say because I feel like that's what you need to know going into it. And something I've learned is all haunted house books are a little slow. Ooh, excuse me. But I do want to read more from Darcy Coates in the future. She has high potential that one of her books is probably going to become one of my favorite books of all time. So I feel like she has that potential with the way she wrote this one. My only 4.5 star, and y'all are gonna find this funny because I am DNFing the series, but I did give Practical Magic 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed this and had a fun time. Thank you all for who joined me for the Practical Magic-a-thon. It was a blast. But yeah. I am DNFing the series because I just know if it wasn't for the readathon, I wouldn't have finished it. Hence why I got a 4.5. So I will be unhauling Practical Magic. But I am so glad I read it. Still one of my favorite movies of all time. I know, it's hard to say I'm giving it a 4.5, but I'm unhauling it. I just know I will never reread it. Now on to our 5 stars. First one I want to talk about is One of Us is Back, which is book 3 in the One of Us is Lying trilogy by Karen and McManus. I loved this and loved how it wrapped up everything. That's all I'm going to say with this being the third in a series. If you don't know what One of Us is Lying is about, is a Breakfast Club-esque detention setting where one of the characters die and everybody blames the rest in the detention. And it's a mystery to figure out who actually killed said person. And the stories have just grown since. So, my next 5-star is the Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Modovolsky. I know this is not a book for everybody, but it hit me at the right time. So it was like, it's a good book for me. This is a slasher-esque story in the sense of, this follows a club called the Mary Shelley Club who uses horror tropes to trick people in, like, using the tropes to scare people as a game and marking points when things go awry. That's all you need to know. Go in, have fun, suspend belief, have a blast. Next, I have September's Bob Book Club book, but I didn't read it till November because of the live show, and that is Love and Monsters by Max Walker. I'm sorry if I keep maneuvering around, but my foot keeps falling asleep. This follows Noah and Jake. Noah invites his straight coworker to join him at a book club when he receives a mysterious package at his door threatening his life. And the story goes from there. As in all Max Walker books, follows 2 perspectives, suspenseful, and I ate it like it was candy, bitch. Bitch. I cannot wait to continue on with this series and read the next 2 and love this series as much as I have loved everything else I have read. Max Walker, that's down there. Next. This one really should be on my tops of the year. We'll figure that out. I'm just going to let you know now, my tops of the year may not have as many thrillers and other genres, minus my Mel romances. I'm finding, because the ones making my list, and I'm finding the ones that I constantly think about should be the ones on the list, not the ones that I'm like, yeah, I loved it at the time and I thought it should be on that list, but it really shouldn't be in the place that it's in. But I read Sinister by West Green. I know this book is not going to be for everybody. The writing style alone is not going to be for everybody. But this cute little novella blew my mind. And this was my first Mel romance. This follows... I am blanking on names. Okay, this follows a couple named Leo and Bern who really want to spice things up in the relationship with a guy named Josh. And when they find out Josh is gay, they put it into motions. And after which they decide, question is, will Josh be able to handle being in a polygamous relationship? This perfection in every sense of the word. I hold this up now with Molly Doyle and No Place to Hide as probably 3 of my favorite novellas I think I've ever read. I probably have other novellas that I could add, but right now those are my top 3. They're all Halloween novellas. So I'm learning novellas. We'll be definitely reading more from Wes Green. Because, fuck, this was everything. And the chase, and the sucking, and the fucking, and the who, and the who, and the hi, and the where, and the who. Hope that made sense. And last but not least, it's probably the largest book I read this month. And it is the October Ba book pick. That is Bite Me, You Know I Like It, which we're hoping our live show will be next weekend. When you see this, should be the weekend of. All I'm going to say is I gave it 5 stars and I fucking loved it. I will give more thoughts in the live show when we discuss the book. Which I do believe the live show is on her channel, on Hope's channel. But this follows Blair and Richard. That's all I'm going to say. Fucking amazing. Cannot wait to continue this series. And I love Faye Quinn. So there is my wrap up for the month of October. Comment down below, did you read any of these? Did your thoughts align with mine? Did I convince you to read any? If you're going to read any, I do highly recommend these two. Highly recommend. If you don't like it, I get it, but oh my god. I will be definitely reading more Mel MM Plus books in the future. But that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you're new, hit that subscribe. And until next time, guys, always be fabulously yourself. Oh, bye.